Hello students. Today we'll continue with the chapter force and pressure. In the previous class we have discussed about the force, the types of force and effect of force. Now today we'll discuss about the pressure. What is pressure? Okay. So look over here. The effects of force depends not only on the magnitude of force but also on the area over which it acts. That means the pressure, or we say the effect of force, how the force effect means if we crush the paper. Okay, so then what will happen when the paper is crushed? Force is applied, but this force affects the area of the paper also. Okay, so for example, same person creates different impressions on the ground in flat sandals and narrow heels. So when a person is moving with flat sandals, on one leg, if I say in one leg flat sandal is wood and the other leg heel sandal is wood. So when that person will walk, the impression, or we say the foot mark which is formed on the soil, that will be different. So what is that? It depends on the area of contact, because in heels the area of contact is less, and when we talk about the flat sandals, the area of contact is more. So the effect of force, it depends on the area over which it acts. Now we'll continue over here. You can see, for this better understanding, we have this activity. Just go through it. To observe pressure exerted by different areas. Look over here, this activity, to observe pressure exerted by different areas. What we need? A bed with a soft mattress and nothing else. Okay, so now you can see the method. Stand on the bed and ask your friend to observe how much it get pressed down. Simple. This boy, as it is standing, you also stand on the bed and then ask any other person or your friend to check how much the mattress has lowered down or get pressed. Now lie down. Okay, after that lie down on the bed, straight on the bed, and again ask your friend to observe how much it is pressed. So what will be the observation? When you are standing, your whole body weight is acted upon on a very small area and the pressure will be more. But when you are lying down, your body weight is distributed throughout the complete bed. Okay, so here we say the pressure is distributed in a large area. So now look at the observation. When you stand on the bed, it will press. Okay, so when you stand on the bed, it will press down more than when you lie down on it. Okay, so when you are standing, then what will happen? The pressure of the bed will be, means the weight on the bed will be more on a less contact area. The area of contact is less. Now see here, when you stand on the bed, it will press down more than when you lie on it. Over here you cannot see the impression or the pressing on the mattress. Okay, but in this, when the boy is lying on the bed, you cannot see that much pressed mattress. So this is what, when you are standing on, all your weight is acting only on your feet. In this condition, if we say that when this boy is standing, the complete weight of the body is acting on the feet. Okay, and when you lie on the bed, your weight get distributed over your whole body, which has large surface area. Okay, so what will happen when this boy is lying on the bed? When this boy is lying on the bed, he is sleeping, then the complete body weight is distributed on a large area. So what is there? What is the conclusion? Force applied depends upon the area. How much the area is in contact, it depends on the area only. The force applied, it depends on the area. For this, we'll just have a look over here. Similarly, you will find it difficult to cut a small piece of eraser using the blunt side of the knife. There are two sides of a knife. If we cut the eraser with the blunt side of the knife, then what will happen? It will be very difficult to cut the eraser. But when we cut the same piece of eraser with the sharp edge knife, means from the sharp edge of the knife, when we cut the eraser, it will be easily cut. So what is the reason behind it? Because when we cut the eraser with the blunt edge, the area of contact is more. Okay. So when the force applied on the blunt edge of the knife, it gets spread over the large area and weakens. And what will happen? We are not able to cut the eraser with the blunt edge. So from the above activity and example, what it be concluded? It can be concluded that the effect of force increases when the area on which the given force is applied is reduced. Effect of force increases when the area on which the given force is applied is reduced. That means when we are using the blunt knife, the area of contact is more. And when we are using the sharp edge knife to cut the eraser, then the sharp edge is very fine, very thin. That means the area of contact is less. So with less effort, when the area of contact is less, then we don't have to apply much force. We don't have to apply much effort. But when the area of contact is more, we have to apply more effort. Okay. So force acting per unit area is termed as pressure. Means the force which is applied on a particular area or on an unit area, that force is now it is called as the pressure. Force per unit area is called as pressure. When the area is less, pressure is more. When the contact area is less, then the pressure is more. Okay. For example, over here in this boy is standing. Okay. And the contact area is what? Only the feet size. Okay. So contact area is less. And when we talk about over here, this boy is sleeping on the bed. The contact area is more. Okay. So here it is. When the area is less, pressure is more. So when the area is less, pressure is more. When area is more, pressure is less. The formula for pressure is force upon area. Now, what is the unit of pressure? Pressure depends upon the force and area. So its unit is derived from the force only, from these units of force and area. So what is the unit of force? Force unit is Newton and area unit is meter square. So when we write the formula in this way, see here, force upon area is the formula of pressure. Force unit is Newton and area unit is meter square. So now this is the unit of pressure, Newton per meter square. Okay, so now you can see this. If force is kept constant, pressure is indirectly proportional to area. That means when we are not increasing the force, here it is that pressure equals to force upon area. When pressure is increased, then what will happen? Area will decrease. Or we say when area decreases, then pressure increases. Okay, that means these two are opposite to each other. Pressure is indirectly proportional to area or inversely proportional to area. If pressure increases, area decreases. If area increases, then pressure decreases. Okay, so this thing is there. So if force is kept constant, pressure is indirectly proportional to area. This means P equals to 1 upon A. So larger the area over which the force acts, smaller is the pressure, smaller area, greater the pressure. Now for this we just have a look over here. Next, some machines need to exert high pressure to work well. Okay, some machines are required so that high pressure is exerted and the work is done properly. For example, scissors. When we cut paper with the scissor, okay, so it is easily cut. Paper can be easily cut with the scissor with a little pressure. But when we cut a cardboard with the scissor, we have to apply more pressure. Okay, so why? Because cardboard is thick, area is more, and we have to apply. Okay, so here what will happen? Example, scissors, bolt, cutters and knives. In the other machines, low pressure is important. Tractors and other vehicles designed to move over mud have large tires that spread the vehicle's weight. Okay, so that means tractors and other vehicles, they have large tires because they have to move on the mud, and in mud large area is required so that it can be easily moved on. So the pressure under the tire is relatively low, so the vehicles are less likely to sink in the mud. To prevent the vehicle from sinking in the mud, we require large tires. This thing you have noticed, when a car moves in a mud, what will happen? It gets stuck in the mud because the tires are not large, they are very narrow. Okay, so small in diameter as well as small in the width. The tire width is less in comparison to the tires of the tractor. Okay, so what will happen? So tractor can easily move because of the large tires, whereas car, it gets stuck in the mud. Okay, so because of the pressure only and because of the size of the tires. Now look at the effect of pressure over here. To study the effect of pressure, what you need? You require 3 pieces of foam, 6 bricks. Now what is there? What is the method? Mark the pieces foam as A, B and C. Put 1 brick on foam A, 2 on foam B and 3 on foam C. Means we have 3 pieces of foam A, B and C. In one we have put 1 brick. In B we have put 2 bricks, and in the third one we have put 3 bricks. Now what will happen? Where 1 brick is placed, because the size of the foam is same. Okay, when 1 brick is placed, then what will happen? The area of contact as well as the pressure exerted by the brick on the foam is less. When we talk about the second one, B, 2 bricks are placed. So here what will happen? The pressure applied by the 2 bricks, now the pressure is increased. Okay, and when we talk about the C, then here 3 bricks are used, so the pressure applied by the 3 bricks is more. So what is the observation? Foam C gets squashed to the greater extent. C will squash because of the more pressure. Conclusion, if area is constant, that means if we make the area same, then what will happen? Greater the force, greater is the pressure. So greater is the force lag raha hai, okay, force is applied by the 3 bricks. So greater is the force and greater is the pressure on the foam. Now next we talk about is the pressure of air. Air pressure. Okay. Now see, pressure of air. Like solids, all liquids and gases, they are called as fluids. Why they are called as fluid? Because they have the capability to flow. As you know that air can move from one place to the other. Wind is blowing, and even water also can move, rivers. Okay, so we say that these liquids and gases, they are called as fluids because they can flow. Also apply pressure, that means solids and liquids and gases, they also apply or exert pressure. Knowledge of this pressure is very important in our daily life. For example, if you fill air in a balloon, it inflates. When we fill the air in a balloon, what will happen? The size of the balloon increases. So what is the reason behind increase in the size of the balloon? Because when we fill the balloon with the air particles exert pressure on the walls of the balloon. As a result, the size of balloon increases and we say that the balloon has inflated. So it is due to the pressure of air molecules on the inner walls of the balloon. If you keep on filling air in the balloon, then what will happen? When we fill more and more air in the balloon, after some time what will happen? If the more air is filled beyond the capacity of balloon, if the balloon is not of that much capable to hold more air, then it will burst. Okay, so if we keep on filling the air in the balloon, a stage will come when it will burst. The reason is that more gas in a given space, it applies more pressure. And the pressure applied by the atmospheric gases on various objects on the earth is called atmospheric pressure. Okay, so here it is, the pressure applied by atmospheric gases on various objects on the earth is called atmospheric pressure. This atmospheric pressure at sea level is called as the normal pressure, or we call it as the standard pressure, and standard pressure is about 100 kilopascals. Okay, 100 kilopascals is the standard pressure. Now why don't we experience this pressure which is very high? Why don't we experience? Okay, then what is the reason behind this? It is due to the fact that it is balanced by the pressure of blood running in the blood vessels of our body. Means we have blood in our blood vessels, arteries and veins. In our body we have blood. So this blood pressure, it balances the atmospheric pressure which is present outside, exerted by the atmosphere. Okay, so it is, why don't we experience this pressure? Why don't we experience this pressure which is very high? It is due to the fact that it is balanced by the pressure of the blood running in the blood vessels. Of our body. Atmospheric pressure exerts pressure on our body in an inward direction, and blood pressure exerts pressure in an outward direction. So what will happen? Inward and outward pressure balance each other. That's why we don't experience this pressure. Now, however, if you go to a high altitude, that means if we move to the top of the mountain, if we go to the Mount Everest, okay, so Mount Everest is very high. So if we go to Mount Everest, then what will happen? The atmospheric pressure decreases. And there, when we go to a very height, okay, to a very high distance, then what will happen? The availability of gas decreases because atmospheric pressure decreases, and when we are moving high, we have to carry the oxygen cylinders because of the availability of the gases, means the atmospheric pressure decreases. Sometimes atmospheric pressure drops suddenly, but blood pressure remains the same. Okay, so when we say that when we are moving, when you have noticed when it is very hot temperature outside, okay, during that time you have seen that some students or some person has a bleeding nose, the blood comes out from the nostrils. Okay, so what is the reason behind it? Due to high temperature, atmospheric pressure decreases, but the blood pressure is normal. So what will happen? The blood is moving with the same pressure. So as a result, it will move from the nostrils or from our body parts. So this is the reason of the bleeding nose. In the same way, when we are moving in an aeroplane, okay, in aeroplanes, this pressure, atmospheric pressure, is maintained inside. If that is not maintained, then everyone will have the situation that there comes the blood from the veins or arteries comes out. So here you can see that if you go to a high altitude, atmospheric pressure decreases. Sometimes atmospheric pressure drops suddenly, but blood pressure remains the same, and at the time it becomes more than the atmospheric pressure. Due to this, many people experience bleeding through the nose or ears because their blood vessels ruptures. However, human body is normally capable of adjusting to such changes. Now next is the instrument which is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. It is called as the barometer. The name of the instrument is barometer. Now what is atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure is defined as the pressure exerted on an object by the weight of air above it. Means how much air we experience above our body, how much air is exerting force or pressure on our body, that is the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this is the definition of atmospheric pressure. Here you have seen that when we move to the high, then what will happen? Atmospheric pressure decreases. See here, this is at a height on the top of the mountain. So over here the atmospheric pressure decreases, and at the plains or at the ground atmospheric pressure is normal. Now here you can see this we have seen. Okay, this we have discussed already. Now what you have to see here, the atmospheric pressure definition once again. Atmospheric pressure is what? It is defined as the pressure exerted on an object by the weight of air above it, and the instrument used to measure the atmospheric pressure is called as barometer. Definition of atmospheric pressure: the pressure applied by atmospheric gases. The pressure applied by atmospheric gases on various objects on the earth is called atmospheric pressure, and this atmospheric pressure at sea level is called as the normal pressure or standard pressure, which is 100 kilopascals. Okay, so here we have completed with the today's topic.